right, man. I don't think we need that much of introductions, Mike, do we?
They didn't hear anything I just said because my
I
mic was
know.
muted. No, we don't need an introduction, man. Y'all already know what the hell is going on, man. This Mike B, that's J.R. Bang. This is Some Dude Pod. Rate, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, man. Let's get into it.
Um, Today's been a big day in hip hop.
Yes, sir.
It has been the wildest day. For those who are up under a rock, Diddy got officially arrested, and he was charged with a couple of things. Most notably, he was charged with sex trafficking and racketeering.
And prostitution.
Well, it's a lot of stuff within these
Oh,
charges.
boy, Lando.
Shouts out to Lando. Man, boy, if you don't go get your cheeses, nosy, you get the smile and shit. What a day. Let's start with the beginning of the day. Diddy was charged with a couple of items. The biggest items is basically what we know is sex trafficking and racketeering charges and kidnapping charges. I'm reading from TMZ right now. According to the indictment, the federal indictment, from 2008 to the present, members of the Combs enterprise allegedly engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and entitlement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Going to continue reading here from TMZ. According to the indictment, the purpose of the Combs enterprise was to operate a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries. The purpose also includes preserving Diddy's power and fulfilling his personal desires, especially in relation to his sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial sales workers. The indictment talked about famous freak-off parties, calling them elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. I'm going to read through some of these documents, Mike. They could be wrong for us not to, because when I read the documents, I said, man, if this is true, this is wild. And then this other stuff that came out today. They wanted to arrest Puff today, but he had, I guess, some ecstasy on him, and they was like, nah, let's go ahead and get him tonight. Also, old girl that was at Diddy, who's in Dirty Money with Don Richard. Don Richard just filed a $100 million lawsuit against Diddy. And what's her name? Kalina?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kalina said, they ain't got nothing to do with me, fam. I ain't see shit. But apparently, the day that came out, Diddy called Kalina 54 times.
Need you to cooperate.
Yeah,
no comment. Just say no comment.
Oh no. All right. So I'm gonna read from the document some of the joints from the documents, and then we'll go ahead and talk about it. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise with the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit. Often under the pretense of a romantic relationship, Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded, as said before. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak offs occurred regularly and sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers doing freak offs. Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of the victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After the freak offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. This is Mike. Let's start there.
Bang. Before we go any further, this is going to make an incredible movie one day. One day. I don't know when it's going to happen, but this is going to make an incredible movie.
So,
the documentary or movie surrounding this, it's going to be legendary.
So, this is, I might be wrong, and we're going to have to find out this throughout the trial. But it sounds like to me, in this right here, it's not like he invited Hollywood to this shit. He invited girls to get ran by guys, it sounds like. Now, we may find out more, but when I read that and you look at Cassie's lawsuit, it matches up with all of this. Basically, I have Cassie here. I have these dudes over here. Let's have fun. And I'm going to record it. I'm going to get drugs involved. Now, Charlemagne, shouts out to Charlemagne. He said something today. If you got caught running the train with Diddy, you're probably going to jail. We'll get to that later. But Mike, when you hear that part of the document, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is that we go back and rewind to November 2023. November 2023 is when Cassie dropped the lawsuit against Diddy. Not dropped. She filed the lawsuit against Diddy. And in the lawsuit, it was a lot of details about freak offs and so and so. And I remember saying on this podcast, and I remember prior to that as well, 6 months maybe prior to that, we there was mention of Cassie reaching out to Diddy saying that, and I think this was talked about in court today, that Cassie wanted to write a book. And she offered Puff, like, you can own the book. I give you the rights to the book if you pay me $30 million. Puff called bluff. Here we are. Puff called bluff. All right, cool. Cassie hits him with the lawsuit.
So,
and then paid her.
He had to. So,
wait, hold on. Let me finish.
Go ahead. I thought you were talking my bad.
No, let me finish. And then he ended up paying her. Anyway, so looking at all the details in this lawsuit, the feds say there's a lot of criminal activity being brought up here in a civil lawsuit. Let's investigate. But this just makes me think of a movie called The Social Network, where it tells the story of Mark Zuckerberg being sued over Facebook by one of his best friends, and then two other gentlemen who claimed they stole the idea from. And at the end of the movie, there was a scene where one of the lawyers who was sitting in during the deposition, she had mentioned to him that, hey, you're gonna end up having to pay. And Mark was like, why? I invented Facebook, blah blah blah. And she told him specifically, this is something that rings off to me when I hear about rich celebrities and things that they trying to get off on. She mentioned, like, you're gonna have to pay, and you're gonna have to pay a little bit more, but just pay them. Consider it a speeding ticket. And sign, and then you're gonna have to sign. You're gonna have to have people sign NDAs, because if they say if you don't pay and it goes to trial, they could say all these type of wild things about you. So he could have just paid Cassie and had her sign an NDA. All is quiet and kept, and ain't no telling what would be happening right now. With Diddy, we probably wouldn't be here talking about this right now. So that's what I think about originally. Obviously, these are some horrible, horrible allegations, and prayers and everything goes out to all those that were involved with this, and they were affected by this, and it's horrible. So those are two things that rings off to me right now. So
yeah. So my thoughts is, one, also going back to the Cassie joint, and also saying, wow, it might be messed up to say, hey, you messed up by calling this young lady's bluff. All you had to do was just
whatever
pay the freight, call it a day. Whatever it is.
Pay the freight, call it a day.
And shouts out to our boss, Scott, Barb Chest Scott. He's been saying this term a lot lately, flying close to the sun. Yeah. Your kid Icarus flying too close to the sun. It feels like to me, man, Puff may have been thought like, may have been like, hey man, ain't none of this gonna get out. It is what it is. You could go back to the BET Awards when he had won that Lifetime Achievement Award, and he was talking his shit, but also kind of sounding defiant. He thanked Cassie in the speech, and the way he thanked it was like, oh, okay.
It was all, I think that was like just poking the bear right there.
Right.
It was like, because you don't know if that was like sincere or like he was like really, you know what I'm saying? He was being an asshole about it.
Right.
So
but when I read what I read, the one thing that I think that a lot of people are going to get really confused about is commercial sex workers. At the end of the day, it's still prostitution, and prostitution ain't legal in the United States of America. When you come to that part, the commercial sex workers, and I'm gonna try not to demonize sex workers and all of that too. This is part that I ain't gonna front. I laughed at, because all I thought about was they're flying sex workers from all across the world for these freak-offs. What does this look like? It's elaborate. So it's almost like putting on a show to do what? Like, is there a prayer before we get started? Like, is somebody leading the prayer? Father God, I'd like to thank Puff for bringing us all together for this fantastic night of this freak off. I pray that nobody get hurt. I pray that nobody gets syphilis, HIV, gonorrhea, herpes, or anything like that. We have a great time. All right, amen. Like, it's elaborate. It is a show. This man is a showman. I am really like, how do you put all of this together? I think I'm just gonna speak for me here, because I don't wanna incriminalize anybody. But if you did something with women and the homies, you just like, yo, come through the crib. We about to. This man, as you read this document, is literally in hotels putting baby oil, and we'll get to that in a minute, in rooms, in hotels. So even I'm looking at the people who run these hotels, and Diddy coming, and he's renting all of these rooms. You know what he's renting these rooms for. Like, so you thought Diddy was renting 100 rooms for 200 people?
They just thought it was a Diddy party.
Right, we just thought it was a Diddy party, because some of these things happen at a hotel. In fact, let me go to the rest of the joint.
But you know what? Hold on, before you keep reading, Bang Joe. It's also mind blowing to me to think that this nigga is he's a fucking criminal mastermind.
So
no. All right, go ahead. All right, go ahead. Keep
Pause
going.
On that. Let's not
keep going.
There's more to this. Members and associates of Combs Enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, staff, security, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees facilitated the freak-offs, among other things. Hold on for a second.
See, it's y'all be cool. Bang being a parent on the pod, y'all. This is normal
Hey,
day.
Landon, come get your game.
Normal Tuesday, y'all. Normal Tuesday.
I tell Landon to go upstairs, and he leaves his game.
Normal Tuesday.
Members is all right. It's normal Tuesday. Okay. All right, so members and associates, come get your game and then go. Members, associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging travel for the victims, commercial sex workers, and Combs to and from the freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial sex workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. In March 2024, during one of the searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Let's stop right here. Fam, as I said, they found the supplies at the crib, but you rented the hotel. You rented the hotel rooms. You went and you stocked the rooms. My G, we've all been in a hotel. I was in a hotel all this weekend. You go up in the hotel, you see stuff on your dresser, on the table. You see cards, places to eat, stuff like that, the internet, all that. You mean to tell me that people came into these joints and they were just like, I bet, look at these party favors already. There's some ecstasy. There's lube, there's baby oil. There's all of these parting gifts that Puff gives for these freak-offs. I have questions on that. Because again, they didn't say this happened at his house, or at least we ain't got there yet. It said that at the hotel. So again, Puff in Miami or in LA, wherever these shits happen at, rents a hotel room, plenty of hotel rooms for a freak off. So I'm interested, very interested, to find out, like, were people going to room? Was it somebody in the room waiting? Like, was there a sex worker that was waiting in that room? Like, did somebody have a book that said, insert celebrity here, you go to room 225, Miguel is waiting on you.
Like speed dating.
Right. It's hey, celebrity number 5, Veronica is waiting on you at room 557. We got everything that you wanted there. In fact, matter of fact, we have this big celebrity right here. You got the penthouse suite. We got 5 men and 5 women as you requested. They all having sex. You get to watch. And Puff is going to slide through, and he's going to kick it with you in a second. Like, I don't want to sound like a perv.
Look, bro, you intrigued. And I'm intrigued too, babe.
No, I really...
It's okay. You're intrigued.
I'm really confused.
We need more transparency to this. We want more details.
I am very confused at a hotel. Renting rooms, and they know this is for this. Puff can't rent 100 rooms in a hotel and then tell his people to come put these things in a hotel, and the people in the hotel don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Like,
imagine, it's kind of what I had said when we did the damn Diddy show.
Yeah.
I said, imagine you staying at a Diddy party till a certain time. Like the homie say, hey, I'm about to go. I think you should come. No, man, I'm gonna stay. No, bruh. You should come home with us. No, man, they said stay. Boom, boom, boom. All right, it's on you. And then you get to that point where the party switches. So let's just say the party switches at 12. Doors lock. New music plays. New lighting. And then there's rooms. And you start walking past the room and you see insert celebrity here with sex worker here. You see unwilling participant there getting touched on, but you don't know that it's an unwilling participant getting touched on by insert employee number here. And then you walk past the room and there's a girl that's just sitting on the bed and she's just like, why the fuck am I here? And then you get to talking, y'all end up messing around, and then when you wake up and you get ready to leave Diddy's house at 10 o'clock a.m., you open his front door, and then that same girl you see gets thrown into a goddamn Econoline van with no windows, and it's shut. And you like, what the fuck that just happened? That's what I pictured then. That's what I now picture now, and it is worse than that. Because, man, oh man, I can't understand for the life of me how Puff can rent all of these rooms, have all of these people put in sexual party favors, including drugs, and then there's sex workers that comes and they're in these rooms, and then there are other people come, and then all of a sudden it's one big ass orgy across this damn hotel, and all of the people that's doing that renting the hotel is like, well, we got our money tonight.
You heard what they said. The freak offs lasted 2 or 3 days.
And it happened days.
So what happens in between a session?
So
when you when you have sex, like you tired, you take a nap. Like what's going on here? Like what happened in between? Is it food involved? Are these people getting fed?
Is it Gatorade?
Like what is
this? Is it water?
Is
this sponsored by Dashani? I don't know. It's nasty. That's nasty. Hey. Sorry, Dashani. Now, again, I'm just reading the documents.
Yeah.
We'll get to house shit later. We're just reading the documents. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, including Combs, security personnel, boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go.
Bang, before you keep going, I want to know. Yeah. It's got to be.
We gonna wait to that, Mike. Let's go through the doc.
I have questions.
Go through the doc.
God damn it concerns.
I'm on page 7, y'all. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, including Combs, security personnel, at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate or threaten others, including victims and witnesses to the abuse. And in or about March 2027, during the searches at Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with the face serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine, excuse me.
Hey, check this out, bro. I was today years old when I knew exactly what a drum magazine was. I was unaware. So I had to Google what a drum magazine was. And I Googled it. And you want to know, look, let me tell y'all something about a drum magazine. If you don't know what a drum magazine is, the goddamn Terminator was using this gun.
Yeah.
In the Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Arnold Schwarzenegger was using these guns. What the fuck does Diddy have a gun like this for in his home? What kind of war is he fighting against?
Well, we'll find out in a second.
Go ahead, keep going.
This is page 8 now. All right. Members and associates of Combs Enterprises enabled Combs' control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victims' career opportunities, and acquiring controlled substances Combs used to keep victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence towards the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the Combs Enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as home, hotels, or Combs residences. Now, this is when we get to the residence part. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. When employees witnesses to his abuse, when employees witnesses to his abuse or others threaten Combs' authority or reputation, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise engage in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputable harm, reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence includes kidnapping and arson. Pause right there. If we want to go back, when a lot of this stuff started coming out, there was something that came up about Kid Cudi.
He did that shit.
And Cassie was apparently talking. And Puff blew up, allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car.
He did that shit.
They said, they asked Cudi or whatever or something like that. I'll find it later in the show. But Cudi was like, yeah, that happened. Just like nonchalantly. So... That's just one instance we know.
That's not funny, bro, but it's fucking hilarious, fam.
But we're going to get to what you had said earlier in a second. That's what I said. I want to get through this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this is one of those situations where I want people, when shit like this happened, like when the Bill Cosby stuff popped up, or when R. Kelly popped up, and everybody had these opinions, but they did not read the indictment. Read the indictment to get full information, and you'll be like, oh, not saying that you got to believe it or not, because it's still innocent until proven guilty, but you like, whoa, this shit's deeper than I thought. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened with the possibility of a negative publicity or legal and law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, following public allegations of Combs' crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced and knew to law enforcement on calls. Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with the false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs calls these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. That does not even get to the racketeering conspiracy. That does not even get to that piece. That is all the nasty shit. They got the counts. You can read it, get the information, you find out what's going on. But this here, Mike, gonna answer your question that you asked about crime, and just a crime syndicate, basically. Yes, Mike, this document says 2008, not 1993, not any time at Uptown, does not say anything about the 90s heyday of Bad Boy. Says 2008. Mike, I think you know just as well as I do, outside of Diddy Dirty Money, making the band type shit, Bad Boy wasn't really popping around that time. So, if I'm reading what I just read right now, Diddy retired from the music game. He found a brand new hustle. That hustle, if I'm reading what I'm reading, is sex trafficking and being a mob boss through his organization.
Well, you know what? She said 2008. 2008, I think Making the Band was popping.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's Making the Band. That's Day 26. Yeah. That's Danny Kane. Yeah, then after that, when we get to like 2009, 2010-ish, you have Diddy Dirty Money.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit later than that. Around that time, like Last Train to Paris comes out what time? What year?
Hold on, let me fact check that. Last Train to Paris came out in 2010.
Yeah, see, took that. That's what I said. That came out 2010. Yeah, it sounds like to me that this right here was Diddy retired from music, basically, and just doing shit and recruiting. If I read this document,
Bruh, how did Diddy go from being a musical icon to a master criminal?
I got an answer to that. I'm gonna answer it like this. This is a conversation that me and my father had before I left and after I got back this morning. This right here is less about sexual gratification and more about power.
Yeah.
Now, people are who they are. And then when you get money, you multiply all of that. Puff, at that time, has a lot of money. He got projects here and there, but he got a lot of time. Puff was around here talking about vote or die.
Bruh.
He's just doing shit.
Bruh.
He had vote or die.
Look, it's you
Make
say.
it in the band. Wait a minute, Mike. Wait a minute. Puff got vote or die. And fact check. When did vote or die happen?
That was like 2008.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
When was Obama's first term?
That was 2008, I believe it is.
Yeah, like maybe before that. Or 04. No, not matter of fact, you're right. What was it? Who's the John Kerry? No, is that who was trying to? When he was going against Bush?
Okay, yeah, John Kerry. That's 2004.
Okay.
So Puff had the vote or die
Bang,
shit.
I do vote, motherfucker.
Okay, I don't know. He did vote or die in 2024, and then he changed it to Obama or die.
Yeah.
So Puff around 2008 is just doing shit.
For sure.
He doing this. He got making of the band. He had all these shits is going on, fam. He got Press Play that came out in 2005, and then that didn't. I don't think that necessarily did well.
No, that
the
wasn't.
movie.
That was no.
Yeah, the movie thing didn't work out really because he was in Carlito's Way for some reason.
He was in Monsters Ball too, right?
Yeah, he was in Monsters Ball. Shouts out to my little brother who got mad at us because we didn't want him to see that. True. And shit. But then he was changing his name. He was doing all that shit.
Yeah. For sure.
And he went and he did the I Want to Work for Diddy. Let's not forget about that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he did the show that I Want to Work for Diddy. So let's not skip that because it was people that wanted to work for Diddy. And then he got goddamn Dirty Money. Remember, he tried to do some shit with a couple of people. I think he was managing Rick Ross at one point. I think it was like one more person. He did Dirty Money. He did that 2010.
Man had Machine Gun Kelly. He had French Montana.
Yeah, Janelle Monáe.
Janelle Monáe, yeah. Shit, I think Janelle Monáe's last album was on Bad Boy.
I believe so.
She put out. She's still under contract with Bad Boy, which is crazy.
So yeah, it was a lot of shit that was just going on. There was just random shit. Matter of fact, a role that I remember, the only role that I really could think of from Puff that I remember is Get Him to the Greek. Now, I want y'all keep this in mind because I have one meeting with Puff. That's when Diddy Dirty Money had their tour at the House of Blues. Mm-hmm. Me and my cousin went up there. My cousin was like, yo, I need you to film this interview. I was like, yo, I got a camera, tripod. We get it started, get it taken care of. And we filmed the interview. I'll find it for reference. I remember Puff dropping a whole bunch of money on the ground And I was about to go pick that bitch up. But then I was like, nope, too many niggas here. Don't want to get beat up. But I could use that bread. I also remember Puff saying, yo, we gonna get you a case of Ciroc. And I was like, hey, don't forget about the cameraman. Very interesting interaction. That's on camera. We go through the back. We're now in the back. And some dude that says that he's Tiger's road manager is pissed because Tiger's supposed to be on stage and Red Cafe is still on that stage. If you went to that show, remember, Red Cafe spent way too long of a time on that stage. Because I remember telling my cousin, damn, is Red Cafe still on stage? He got enough songs for this? Like, why is Red Cafe still on stage? So then this dude that's supposed to be Tiger's road manager is yelling at Puff. And Puff being cool, like, yo, brother, hey, we'll get it taken care of. Don't worry, he gonna get on the stage. And dude, now he's being belligerent. He's cussing and shit. And Puff's like, brother, you ain't gotta cuss, you ain't gotta do this shit.
Where was this at?
We was backstage, like that upper backstage.
What venue was this, you said?
House of Blues.
Okay, go ahead.
So one of the Puff security guards, I forgot the camera was on. It's not recording. But I forgot the camera was on. That motherfucker saw that red light. He was like, yo. I said, oh shit, don't worry about it. And me and my cousin just sitting there like watching this shit. Because we walking with Puff. And dude, Puff said, hey, no cussing, none of that. But if you keep going, it's going to be a problem. So he cussed that Puff one more time. And exactly how Puff was on Get Him to the Greek was him at that moment. I said, ooh, shit. But Puff was cool about it. He wasn't like, he let the man talk. He just told him, this is what I need you to do. He ain't do it. Puff yelled at the nigga. Nigga was removed. And he was like, hey, man, it was nice meeting y'all. Y'all have a nice day. Be safe. Boom, boom, boom. My only interaction with Puff was get him to the Greekish because that nigga was fucking up. Mm-hmm. But when I saw him interact like that, I was like, damn. I think it's hard working with Puff. Then I read this. And the reason why I'm bringing this up and said it's hard working for Puff, because now I'm thinking about Combs Enterprises. There's nowhere in hell, because I brought up the hotel shit. There's nowhere in hell you can't tell me if this shit's true. You can't tell me that Puff wasn't acting like a mob boss. You can't tell me that Bad Boy, Sean John, anything that's under Combs Enterprises at that time was a front. Puff was really acting like Freaky Frank Lucas. If we doing this, Puff's Freaky Frank Lucas without the cocaine. And what if something comes out and says this nigga was also involved with cocaine trafficking? This man was Freaky Frank Lucas. Because they not getting him off of drugs. They getting him off of the use of drugs and freaky shit. And it feels like to me, everything was just to get money to do freaky shit. Until somebody showed me differently. Until Puff has his day in court. And somebody showed me differently. All this was Puff being Freaky Frank Lucas. And instead of cocaine trafficking, it was sex trafficking. And if you got in his way, he was violent. That's wild to me. And I'll say this before I let you go, Mike. What's even wilder about this, they said 2008. I wonder what gave Puff the idea of doing these freak-offs. I really want to know what Puff was watching to influence him. But I have an idea what that may have been. Mike, the movie Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise came out in 1999. Mike, that is the white version of a freak-off. Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman is a freak off.
I'm aware of that movie, and I shouldn't have seen that movie in 1999. But proceed.
It was a freak off. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, it was a freak off. When you get to certain parts of the movie, you go read the synopsis or you go watch the movie. But eyes wide shut, I think Puff may have went to the premiere or just saw the movie one day and was like, I want to do that shit. So when they say at least 2008, I'm believing that might have been as early as 1999, 2000. And it just maybe build over time. Because what did they say, Mike? Ain't no party like a what?
That Diddy party.
So, if I'm looking at this document, maybe the Diddy parties changed over time. Maybe the Diddy parties was just a good old time. Hey, Cavassier, hey, Buster, hit the road rolling. Like, maybe it was that, but then that man saw Eyes Wide Shut and was like, you know what? I don't think that's such a bad idea.
This is a great idea.
Let's do this shit. And it just grew over time. Now let's get to Combs Enterprises. Puff can't be the only person that get arrested. See, R. Kelly.
Dang.
R. Kelly.
How?
R. Kelly is one thing. I don't think R. Kelly had a team. Like, R. Kelly. These niggas said Combs and Combs Enterprises. What other niggas at? Who are the people at Combs Enterprises that was like, yo, hey, Diddy, when the next freak off? I bet. I'm going to go ahead and call the Hilton, get this taken care of. We're going to have our people come up in there, and we're going to put everything in the room. We're going to have them put more linen in there than usual. We got the light set up, so the mood will be set up right. We got that taken care of. Bet. What up with the people? All right, so I called some people. I got some people coming from Russia. I had some people coming from Belize. I got some exotic women from South Africa. And I got some people from Uzbekistan. Like, where's that at? I don't know, but that's exotic. Also, we got some men from Puerto Rico. Got my man Miguel. He got a bun in his head. He got the little designs and this shit. He got a 6-pack. Think you will like that. Also, we got 2 guys from Australia. They're ready. They're hot and ready. And we got some people from Iran. Like, they ready.
Bang.
Who's the person that is scouting the hoes? Or the sex workers?
Bang. Okay, that's a great question. So let me ask you this. So part of some of these crimes is brought up as kidnapping. Where's the kidnapping come involved in? Where's
Cassie? That's Cassie. When you drug her ass from that hotel room back to the room, that's kidnapping. Okay. If a young lady was like, I don't think this shit for me, and you was like, bitch, you don't do that shit, that's kidnapping. If one of the guys was like, nah, fam, this ain't for me, y'all too wild. No, door's locked. That's kidnapping.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So this kind of like reminds me when you bring up all of the other like other people from other countries. That reminds me of Taken. Yeah. When Liam Neeson's daughter got picked up from the airport or from the house, and they get kidnapped, and then they get auctioned off, and then they turn into sex workers, drugged up sex workers.
Exactly.
Is that what Puff was doing?
Well, I ain't gonna say that was Puff was doing. I don't know, y'all. I'm just reading the document. I ain't seen that this nigga had Boris and 5 other Russian dudes grabbing women and doing all that shit. I don't know. What I'm saying, however, is who's scouting sex workers? If he's flying sex workers, commercial, this is the words that they use, Mike. Commercial sex workers. I ain't no sex worker expert. I ain't never had no sex worker. But if I heard somebody say commercial sex worker, this is a person who knows their job is to have sex and they're going to get paid. Who recruiting sex workers locally, nationally, and internationally? Who at Combs Enterprises was like, yo, hey man, it's a dude out there in Iraq that got a 13-inch dick and I think you'll love it, Puff. And then Puff say, oh, bring homie ass in. Like, who is recruiting the sex workers? That right there, if this is true, is why Puff can't be the only person that's arrested. And the R. Kelly thing, I think more than one person, more than R. Kelly should have got arrested. If what R. Kelly did was true, R. Kelly should not be the only person in jail. But I don't think R. Kelly had a team. He had homies. If this is true, Puff had a team. His company was built off of sex trafficking or continued through sex trafficking, if you want to say 2008 on to now. I am confused on how that piece happens. I'm sorry. I ain't well versed in none of this shit. But when you say, and there's going to be people that read this and say commercial sex workers, like they knew what they was getting into. That's prostitution. You can still go to jail for that shit. Mm-hmm. But when you say nationally and internationally, like how, if we're taking away from the kidnapping and maybe holding people against their will, because I don't think everybody was held against their will, I am confused on how you can just get these people. Is there like a commercial sex worker database across the world?
Oh, we about to find out.
That people just look at to say, hey, I think this would be good for the freak off. You have to have some. Puff can't do all of this alone. Everybody got to go to jail if this true. Whoever picked up the call to say, yo, Boris, we need you at the Four Seasons in New York at 10 o'clock. We got your flight handled. Slide. He got to go to, that person who made the call got to go to jail. The person who went up in there and put the party, fam, you're not putting ecstasy in the room and lighting and asking for extra linen for some regular shit. This ain't the, I'm trying to think NFL draft. Like, you're not putting ecstasy, some pills, baby oil in a hotel room for the NFL draft. Whoever packaged the shit and put it in the room, decorated it, had the lighting, you got to go to jail. Whoever made the call for the hoes, whoever decorated the room, who was out there recruiting, who took women, who used violence, all of them got to go to jail, Mike. Today, Puff got no bond. He can't be the only person if this is what we doing. This sounds bad, Mike. This sounds so bad. I said at the beginning of the show, this is a bad day in hip hop.
Yep.
But then I thought about it. Oh, this is a bad day in music. Because I don't think it was just niggas that was going to freak offs.
Hey, look, man. See, look, that's what I'm. Look here, man. Look at me. I want to know what celebrities, which R&B female R&B singers, which one of you actresses, whatever, sports superstars, who was there? Who participated? Who partaked in these freak offs? Because I know it is. Just pay attention to the celebrities that's quiet right now. Those are the ones that like, oh shit.
They just dropped a video in the chat.
Oh shit.
And I ain't gonna hold you, chat. Apparently there's a video of Puff taking the IV drip with his mom.
What?
Now I got questions on that I won't bring up on the show.
What?
I'll talk about this. I'll talk about that after the show.
What?
But I got questions on that.
But I also want to.
No. I'll just say it like this. We talking about Combs Enterprise. I want to know how much the family was involved in this.
Yeah, Justin, King Combs, what's the other one? What's I'll be sure son's name? Quincy.
His
Yeah.
mom. Like
Yeah.
I want to.
You talking about Diddy's mom? Diddy's mom was involved in the freak off.
No,
show?
I said I want to know. I'm not gonna say Diddy mom was out there. I ain't gonna say Diddy mom was out there like, hey son, this is a great ass party. Hey, Boris about to take me upstairs. We about to see what Boris do, son. We about to see what Boris do. Nah, I ain't saying that.
Yeah, Joe. But look, man, look. I want to know how and why, or how is Diddy able to craft this master criminal organization and not be able to actually separate himself from it to where he can get tracked down like this? I don't understand. Like it feel like yeah, he's the master of this criminal organization, but it feels like he's also one of the dumbest criminals in the world at the same time. Because how do you get popped off like this?
I mean,
how are you? It's like he was almost like he was doing this shit he was hiding out in the public doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yeah, I'm doing this shit, bro. This shit is all cool. And I feel like he was too hands-on with this. He was
that's the point that I'm making.
He's way too to be a criminal boss, bro. To be like a mob boss, you were way too hands-on.
Well, Mike, again, somebody's gonna have to tell somebody in this court case. Somebody's gonna have to tell me how Diddy was recruiting the sex workers.
Yes, bro. But this is something that you have to have a whole team.
That's what I said. Everybody.
You gotta have a chalkboard. You gotta have a chalkboard with look.
Yeah, we got
this and look, you're gonna be handling this. You're gonna be in charge of this. We're gonna do it this way. Circle this here, and then you're gonna go here. Like this is like crazy. I feel like you gotta have like a class, a whole class. You know what I'm saying, and tutorials and all of that shit, bro. This is absolutely crazy. But I feel like with all of this, bro, he was way too hands-on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have questions more than that. Now, this is dependent on how when this started. We're only gonna say 2008 here, but it wasn't like people wasn't going to Diddy parties past 2008. I am scared to see them videos come to light. If somebody, look, y'all hack everything else. If y'all were to hack the FBI's shit,
one of them freak offs is going. One of them freak off videos is going viral.
Somebody got to drop a freak off video, and the perfect place to drop it off is Twitter, because they already got freaky shit all over Twitter. So if y'all can hack one of the freak offs,
it's going down,
and put it on Twitter along with all of the filth that's on there, it will go up. It will go up. I'm telling y'all. I am worried about who in Black Hollywood or just Hollywood in general is on those tapes.
Man, fuck Black Hollywood. Hollywood, like you said, Hollywood, bro. Who in Hollywood? Because Diddy was he was in with everybody, cool with everybody.
We talking about Jeffrey Epstein. This feels like to be a small version of Jeffrey Epstein. But it doesn't, it sounds like to me for right now, it does not sound like he was holding things over celebrities' heads. He was holding it over the women's head. It wasn't like he was saying, yo, insert celebrity here. But I'll even throw out a little caveat before I go to this $100 million case that we had mentioned that Diddy defaulted on. And I had said some shit to my father, and my father agreed. But now you go, like, this is so, the ramifications to this, in my opinion, is so big. It's going to make you, of course, look at Diddy differently. It should. It's going to make you think of people around Diddy differently, which it might should. People that are connected with Diddy, who's done music with Diddy, who's done things with Diddy just like it did with R. Kelly. It wouldn't be fair to do this for Kels and not do this for Diddy. But then you're going to start looking at other people in Hollywood, other people in music. Not going to name names, but there are certain people in Hollywood that have mega parties that everybody love to go to. Well, go on at them joints too. Did somebody look at a Diddy party and say, yo, I want to do my own smaller version? Well, did somebody take the idea that there's been times where Diddy has had competing parties with others? Like, you're going to start looking at these parties and going like, well, what the fuck really goes on over there?
Yeah.
Now, let's go to that damn court case of Diddy losing the $100 million court case that Diddy defaulted on. Did you hear about that, Mike?
Yeah, I think we talked about that last week.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to bring this back up. Because he eventually filed to vacate the settlement to a dude in Michigan who's in jail. Now, me, you, and Scott said on this show, I don't think that's something that I want people to understand and know that's how I got my money. If you read what we read, my man said that he was performing a sex act on a woman and Puff tapped him on his ass. Good game, though, I guess. Now,
Good job, kid. Good job, kid.
Right, good job, fam. You're doing a great job. Now,
the
dude, Derek Lee Cardello Smith, won a $100 million default settlement. The order was handed down last Monday after the rapper failed to show up in court. I mean, we know why. And they ordered or required Diddy to pay $10 million a month starting in October. Now, they say he wasn't served a summons or complaint that was filed in June. And he said that he has no obligation to. Now, the dude who's 51, he's in jail currently right now for numerous criminal sexual offenses. So he's a freak man too. Mm-hmm. So he said that he was working as a bartender at the time. He accused Puff of touching him on the left buttocks. Mm-hmm. And as he was performing some shit, he gave him a spiked drink. And he fell out, and then he saw Puff having sex with a woman, and the dude said that Puff told him, I did this to you too.
Oh my God, man.
I did this to you too.
Go ahead.
So I can imagine you, I can't, my bad, I don't know. I can't imagine this dude waking up on his stomach. Like, man, what the fuck? Damn, Diddy, what you doing? Shit, I did this to you too. And you like, oh. Oh. What you mean? You did what to me?
Oh, shit.
What my ass for? Like, I don't think, I asked my father. I told my father, if I came into $100 million and didn't tell y'all exactly why, y'all gonna have questions on how I got this money. Is you in jail? What did you do? Like why you ain't in jail? Did you steal something? Then if it came out that I won $100 million off of a settlement for Diddy for doing what they said is done, I think my family look at me kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What the fuck you was doing at a Diddy party?
We got a lot of questions. The first question is, why were you at a Diddy party?
Right. What was you doing? For him to tap you on your ass, butt ass naked.
Yes, sir.
Why was you eating Mackie in front of Puff? Like, what was this? What? Tell us about what's going on here, son.
Yeah.
I say that to say this. There's going to be a lot of things that come out, and we ain't going to know what to believe. Now, Puff is innocent until proven guilty. I don't know how Puff gets out of this, though. And Puff is currently in jail. He was denied bond. Puff offered a $50 million bond, paid the mortgage off $18 million off of a house that he owned to use as collateral, gave up his passport, and everybody from his mom to his daughters gave up their passport too. So Puff wanted to show everybody that he was not a flight risk. And the judge was like, nah, it's a lot of wild shit in this doc, fam. You can't get out. Now I'm going to add to this, because I think it's important to add to this. This is not only over Puff's head right now. The fact that Puff can't get out of jail until trial is wild. Not saying this should not happen. That's not what I'm saying. It's just when you think of all of this shit, the last thing that you could think of is that somebody like Puff, for years, been the first or second richest man in hip hop, a billionaire, vote or die. He's been ingrained in our music since the 90s. Jodeci, Forever My Lady. God damn it, the remix, Come and Talk to Me. Mary J. Blige, What's the 411? Big. Goddamn 112, Total. Faith Evans. The list goes on and on. My question to you, Mike. We did this with Kels. I personally was not a person who listened to R. Kelly a lot. If it was on, I did not turn it, but I wasn't like, let me go play this R. Kelly. I wasn't that guy. But when it comes to Bad Boy and people connect it, turn that shit on. We even talked on this pod right here about Puff and Jermaine Dupri. Ladies and gentlemen, we ain't never getting the Puff versus JD versus. It's just never happened. It's never happening, y'all. We will never get it unless you want to do it at home. Maybe they have a versus board game where you can play shit at home. That's the only way you're going to get Sean Diddy Combs versus Jermaine Dupri versus. That is dead.
Yeah, we gonna have a board game, goddammit. A board game.
It's just like Family Feud and Jeopardy and shit. Like that's what we got here, y'all. It ain't happening. But there's people that won't play an R. Kelly song. There are people, there are radio stations, there are companies that will not play an R. Kelly song. Can you do that same thing to Puff, though?
I still play R. Kelly. I'm going to still play Puff.
No.
Not necessarily.
No. My question is my question to make sure I get this right. You get this, you understand my question. My question to you is, can you do, if you're these companies, can you do the same thing to Diddy like you did to R. Kelly? Is it impossible to not play a Diddy Puffy song connected to him with what's going on right now?
I think you treat it the same way as you treat R. Kelly situation. I don't think if there's a lot of songs out here that's still connected to R. Kelly, even though he's not on them, that you still hear, or artists that was connected to him that you still hear. And it's impossible to really do that with Puff. I think we can't, I think we talked about this. We can't take it out on Biggie because he was signed to Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a lot of throwback records that will live forever with coming from Bad Boy, coming from Faith Evans, Carl Thomas, Mace, Faith Evans and all of that shit like that. Like, you can't punish these artists and their records being played, whether they're on the radio or in the clubs, or them possibly, going out on tour and, performing their hits, Airy Crown Theater style. We can't blame them. You can't put that on them because of Puff. So I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form. Now, if it's like a record that's like directly has Puff on it, him rapping or whatever, I don't think you play that.
His ad libs and shit are on a lot of songs.
Nah,
he's in the video.
Ad libs.
No. Hear me out. He's on a lot of songs. He's in a lot of videos. A lot of the songs are some of the most popular songs in that era, and even still popular now. I can't see a world where we don't play All About the Benjamins. I can't see a world where we don't play More Money, More Problems.
I can't
see
More Money,
a
More Problems
world.
is one thing, but All About the Benjamins is, I understand what you're saying.
I can't see a world where I don't get amped up to the forever. His first verse
Yeah.
is the best, probably the best verse that man has ever done in his life. And when you listen to Puff and that song and the build up, it gets you amped. We've heard that shit on sports and all of that shit. We hear Puff and Big at sporting events. Yeah. It's hard for me to remove all of that because this man is so ingrained in us. When you listen to Jodeci Come and Talk to Me, you know that's the Puff remix. When you listen to 411, you know that's Puff. I'm not saying don't play it, because I'm going to play all of those songs that I named.
Absolutely.
That's me. I'm saying that because Puff is so ingrained in the 90s. His music owns 92 or music that he was involved in owns like 92 to 99. We ain't even got to get to the 2000s. I think it's hard for radio stations, television companies, movie brands to not play songs that is connected to Puff. That's going to make for an interesting conversation. Yeah. I think you separate the art from the artist, but when you are charged with something like this, I don't see, and if you've already set the precedent with R. Kelly, I don't know how Puff or Puff related things don't hit that same mark. I'm not saying to do it. I'm saying that you set the precedent for somebody like R. Kelly, which is also unfair because you still play Elvis, you still play Jerry Lee Lewis, you still show Roman Polanski movies, you still do those for other people, you still show Woody Allen movies, you still show movies from people that were depicted in similar lights. You look, we still watch Seven when that bitch come on, and Kevin Spacey in that mark. You still, like, they just show, I just saw something like, American Beauty celebrated its such and such anniversary. You set the precedent with R. Kelly, though. I don't see, because Puff is so connected to those records, how you can't do the same to him. Is going to be interesting to see what people do.
I can't see I'll Be Missing You being played on anything ever again, because it's directly his song and it's just him on it. Now, if it's something that's included with him, ad lib, or like maybe a line here or two, I feel like you can hear that possibly, maybe, with him not on it, or like they edit it out or something.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
That nature. But a song directly made by Puff Daddy or Diddy that's just him can be eliminated. But
so let's be hella specific then.
Yeah.
Top 5 songs from Puff that we'll never hear in the mainstream public again.
I'll Be Missing You. You're not going to hear that shit again, G. But even though that's a great record that people use to cope with loss, that song won't be played commercially. Won't be used in movies or anything of that nature. And Brando just said Bad Boy for Life, which that record, as far as like the beat, the production, and how hard, like, you know what I'm saying, that knocks, that song has been used in plenty of commercials and movies and shit like that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Victory, obviously. We're not going to get that unless you use Big's verse. Use Big's verse. Or use Busta Rhymes.
You need Puff's verse to get you to Big.
Well, so I'm just saying, it could be placed in a movie somewhere, and you start with Big's verse. You're gonna forget
that song don't matter without Puff's verse.
I understand what you're saying, but if you want to, if it does get used, it ain't gonna be Puff's verse, and it might not.
We got those 3.
Might not hit the same.
What's the other 2? Because I think we have it. More money, more problems.
Can't use Shake Your Tail Feather, no boy. Can't use that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that go crazy. That would go crazy in a movie, just depending on the scene. You know what I'm saying? If it got something to do with women.
That's it. That was on Bad Boy. That was on Bad Boys.
Yeah, Bad Boys 2 soundtrack. That's what it's big. That's a big record right there.
You can't. More Money, More Problems is dead.
which is crazy to me. Which is
That's
crazy.
just that.
You want to know what's crazy too? I got a little quick story about More Money, More Problems. That song, I remember in '97, me and my brother, we used to imitate Puff and Mace when that video came on. We'll stand in front of the TV and we'll do all the dance moves and shit to that video, fam. And now this man is possibly will never see the light of day again. It's very possible that man will never see freedom again, bro. And we're talking about More Money, More Problems not being used or played on the radio anymore. Flavor in Your Ear remix? That's a great question, DG. Did Puff rap on that? Puff didn't rap on that. He didn't rap on yeah, Bad would come out and yeah, Puff didn't rap on that though. You can edit that part out, G. You can edit that part out. You know what I'm saying? You can just get somebody to edit that part out. Flavor in Your Ear remix. He talking about Flavor in Your Ear remix. Nah, you keep Flavor in Your Ear remix, G. You gotta keep that.
I don't know.
I mean, he's not on it.
I don't know. I can tell you right now, More Money, More Problems ain't gonna get no more.
Benjamin's is dead too, is what you're saying.
Benjamin's is dead too.
Which is crazy.
Victory, Bad Boy for Life. If I had to put one more, man, I don't know. But Puff, because I have to take everything off. But Puff being, here's what scares me.
I need a girl.
Yeah, I need a girl. You can't play I Need a Girl or I Need a Girl Too. You can't play, man, and that's 2000s, my nigga.
We can't play Nas Hate Me Now.
You know, like you can't. If we're using the R. Kelly metric here, you can't play a lot of songs. And now I'll end this because we ain't got shit else to talk about here. This is Puff got arrested, Puff in jail. Puff might not never get out of jail. Like that's something that this is the biggest part about this. Puff got no bond. Puff might not never get out of jail, Mike.
Which is
Puff,
crazy.
that shit might be dead. Puff might never see the light of day again if he's found guilty. What scares me about all of this is that libraries will be burned down. We can have this conversation now, but what happens 10, 15 years from now? What happens when people starts to forget people like Big, Faith Evans, Carl Thomas, the Locks, and anybody that was associated with Bad Boy because of that man? That's what scares me about all of this. Because the less you play that music, the more of a chance for it to be forgotten. As we get older, we're going to play some of these things, but our kids are not going to play it. Just think about it with like V103. I was laughing because the homie Pierce was like, yo, they playing Warren G on V103 now. It's like, yeah, that's the Dusties now, G. Like, they're not playing the Stylistics every day on V103 like that. They're not playing the Commodores every day like that. Yeah. It's up to the old heads to play that music because it's less of a chance for you to hear it now that you're used to. That's the same thing when it comes to anything that Puff is connected to. If he did all of this shit, he got to go to jail. But what scares me is that libraries will be burned down because this man decided to do alleged nasty shit. He wanted to become Freaky Frank Lucas. This is what happens when you decide to be Freaky Frank Lucas. He wasn't doing drugs, or he wasn't selling drugs. He wasn't out here with a damn cocaine land in Thailand or some shit. He was out here being a freak man. And because you had to be a nasty man, now there's a chance that libraries would be burned or forgotten about because of your actions.
Bad Boy entertainment was a big part of
Matter
the
of fact, Mike, I'll let you end it off with this question. How damaged is the legacy of Bad Boy today?
It's greatly damaged, man. I think the only thing that keeps like it afloat is just like if you still are able, if people out there, whoever it is, whether it's music, movie producers, or whoever that would like to incorporate some of those records from other artists into their content, whatever it is that they present to the world, like if you still able to keep Big's legacy alive and still able to celebrate those artists that we mentioned who total Faith Evans, Carl Thomas, so on and so forth. If you're still able to like celebrate them and be able to separate Puff, then Bad Boy can still live, you know, so to speak. But if you can't, then dude, the death of Bad Boy is here, fam. Like we're seeing it like right now in real time. So we'll see, man. Like that's pretty much the way I can answer it. That's the way I can answer it. Like if people are able to separate Puff and everybody else that was affiliated with Bad Boy, then Bad Boy lives. But if not, death to Bad Boy Records, man. Sad to say. And this is like you said, man. This is one historic day in hip hop, in entertainment in general. This is very historic, and you hate to be on the bad side of history. So, yeah,
Well, end us off, Mike.
it's gonna be a crazy, crazy movie one day, man. Crazy, crazy movie, man. Some do pod, rate, like, subscribe. Anywhere podcasts are available, make sure you search the Barber's Chair Network. That's where you'll find Some Do Pod. We on IG at Some Do Pod. We on Twitter at Some Do Pod. Facebook group hashtag Some Do Pod. At Mike B _ CHR at JR Bang. It's Craig Mac. Oh, my fault. I'm looking at the comments. My bad. The Fall Off of Bad Boy book is going 4 times platinum. Whoever writes it. Yeah, Brando.
Dream Hampton get to work.
Ooh.
Dream Hampton got it. Dream Hampton gonna write that book.
Yeah,
she gonna be lit.
Man, bro. But yeah, man, I'm Mike B. That's JR Bang. And we gone.